I'm Hope.
And I'm Daniel.
From Under the Median. Usually my husband Larry is with me, but today there's a super important reason why Daniel is filling in for his dad. Because just a few weeks ago, my husband Larry followed us around for hours. As we did a bulk cooking day. So today, Daniel came with me on the show because we are going to talk about bulk cooking and how you can plan your own very successful bulk cooking day. There are actually 4 main steps to planning a bulk cooking session. The first thing you need to do is inventory. What do they need to have inventory, Daniel?
Refrigerators, freezers, pantries, especially areas in which you would have perishable items like fruits or vegetables. Those need to be gotten rid of and used up before they go bad.
Right. So the whole idea of a bulk cooking day is to reduce your overall grocery bill. Because if you're not in the grocery store, you are spending less money and you're using items that you already have on hand. So this is actually one of the things that we have done over the last few years that really has saved us significant money on the grocery bills. So make sure that you have a current inventory of those areas of your house. The second thing that you need to do is to plan those menu items. So the first thing we do is grab 2 or 3 cookbooks off of my cookbook shelf. Now, most of the time you're going to be able to find recipes in the cookbooks that you choose that you can find plenty of recipes to use what you already have on hand. We honestly, every once in a while we have to consult the internet, and kind of, sort of Google ingredients. But for the most part, we find most of the things that we think we're going to like to make in the cookbooks.
Or at least the closest substitution.
That's right. And that's one of our tips, is never be afraid of substituting. So let's say you find a perfect recipe and it calls for cauliflower, but you have broccoli on hand. It's okay. Go ahead and substitute that broccoli and do it freely. As long as the substitution makes sense and it's not like a hot pepper for, like a pear or something like that, then you're going to have problems. But don't be afraid to use substitutions and use what you have on hand in the house rather than have to run to the grocery store, because the whole idea is to stay out of the grocery store. Now, we actually have a sheet that we use to brainstorm when we are doing the planning. I'm going to grab it here. I'll hold it up and we'll show an up-close version of this. So this is just our general planner. This is sort of our brainstorming sheet where we write down anything and everything that we find that we think we might want to make, and we put it down on this sheet. So not everything on this sheet is going to wind up making the cut, so to speak, but this gives us a really good sort of action plan where we can look at it and we can narrow it down. Let's say we have 5 pounds of potatoes and the items that we've picked, they're going to take like 10 pounds of potatoes or something. That'd be a lot of potatoes. But so we find out, oops, we've used too many potatoes, so what are we going to cross off of this list? So this is a great way to do your brainstorming. Now, after you do brainstorming, you're going to want to pick your final recipes you're going to make and transfer them to a sheet like this. Now, if you like these sheets, you can get a copy of these sheets. I have a brand new freebie, and I'm going to tell you about it before Larry launches into the edited video of the actual cooking session. So hang in there with us, and I'm going to tell you how you can get your copy of these forms if you like them. So this form is what we use in order to, we call this our detailed bulk cooking sheet. Daniel, why don't you tell them how we use this?
Yeah, here is an example, which, are these the things we use in the video?
I think they might be the things we use in the video. This is just an example of a typical bulk cooking session. Now, clearly, when we use it, it's written out in hand. We don't actually type no. This actually appears in the ebook. So this gives you a really great template to sort of look at and say, oh, this is how she actually uses it. So what do we have there?
Along this side, we have listed all of the recipes that we're going to do. Often we have the cookbook and page number listed too, because we used multiple cookbooks when bulk cooking. Along the top row, you will see lists of the vital ingredients that we'll need to slice and chop and perhaps limit throughout them. And then within the grid is all of the measurements of those ingredients.
Right, so down at the bottom here, these are the totals for each of those ingredients. Now, how do we pick those ingredients? We pick ingredients that we know we're going to use a lot of. So we're going to need to chop them ahead of time and things like that. It saves so much time, particularly if you can get this chopping done before bulk cooking day actually begins. That is like gold. And we don't actually get that done very often. But that's like the goal. The goal for us would be to have all this chopped and sitting in the refrigerator in containers ready to go that morning when we get up to begin the bulk cooking session. Now, the only other thing that we add to this form is right along this side, we create sort of a column where we call it like cooking method. And we just write that in right over here at this side. And so we have like a code like CR means crock pot and O means oven and ST means stove top. And so we create sort of a shorthand, if you will, to tell us how we're going to, what method we're going to use to cook those. Now, why is that important?
If you have too many items in the same cooking method, you're going to be waiting for the next one to get done. Instead, if you split it up into separate stations, then you'll be able to do them all at once.
Right. Yeah. So it creates an efficiency that otherwise you're going to be lacking. So if you have too many things that go in the oven, he's right. You wind up waiting around, twiddling your thumbs, waiting for one thing to get done with in the oven so you can shove the next thing in. Whereas for us, usually we do during a standard bulk cooking session, how many items?
About 10.
About 10. Yeah, about 10 items is generally what we do, and it takes us about 6 hours, the average amount of time, and that's from beginning to end, and that includes all the dishes that are done in between. Now, the other thing we do sort of to make the process go a little more smoothly is once we figure out what main method we're going to be using for each of the recipes, we divide it up even further and we sort of stage it in phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So phase 1 are going to be items we have to get done right away. So something goes in the crock pot.
Yeah.
All of our crock pot recipes, that's going to be something. If you're going to put something in the crock pot for either 4 hours on high or 8 hours on low, you're going to want that to get that in right away. So we know that those are the phase 1 things. If it's a crock pot, it goes in phase 1. And we have a multitude of crock pots.
Yeah.
We actually have 4 crock pots. And sometimes on bulk cooking day,
We use all 4.
we do. So crock pots are going to go in phase 1. And then phase 2 are going to be maybe some of those items like quick wins are always really good to put it in phase 1 or phase 2, where you can chop some things up and it goes in a salad and then it goes in the refrigerator. So it's really nice to get of those ton like dishes you're making to get a couple, just off the bat, ready, prepped, and in the refrigerator, and you're done, because that sort of keeps your momentum going. And then phase 3 are always those items that we know can wait till the end. And 2 of the items in phase 3 are always items that we know that if we don't get them done, no harm. We're just going to cross them off of our list, because it's an exact science. You don't know exactly how long it's going to take you to get things done. Sometimes it goes a little more quickly, and sometimes it goes just unbelievably slowly. and there are times we get toward the end and we're like, we just do not have the energy to do these last 2 items, and we just cross them off our list and we leave them for another day, and that's okay to do. So we always recommend that you leave a couple of items at the end that if I don't get it done, it's just not going to ruin my whole day to not get it done. So that's just a basic outline of how we do the bulk cooking. And then there's one other form that we do use, and this is really handy once you have all of your items cooked and ready to go. And you can do this on bulk cooking day, or you can do it another day if you like. Take a look at your list, and then go ahead and fill in each day of the week what you're going to serve. And this is great to hang on the refrigerator, so when people come at you and say, what's for supper, you can say, look on the refrigerator, the list is on the refrigerator. So those are all the tips that we have for making your bulk cooking day a success. Dan, thanks for coming and joining me. So he is a great sous chef. He's got a fantastic eye, and he's great at figuring out how to make recipes work when we don't have the exact right ingredients, and making it work and turn out tasting really well. The other thing we would say is it's kind of all hands on deck for everybody. Whether you're a sous chef or whether you're not, you got to have people to do all those dishes in between. There's lots of dishes to do, and people to we have my youngest son is often our recipe reader. We'll say, just come in and read us the ingredients, read them off in order, tell me how much of this that I need to add. And that's super helpful and actually makes it go more quickly
Yeah.
if you're not actually trying to read the recipe and assemble it at the same time. Hey, if you like these forms and you want kind of a reminder of exactly the steps and the order to do them, I walk you step by step through exactly how we do it, and all of these forms are in a great new free ebook that we are offering. So it's the bulk cooking ebook. If you are not currently an Under the Median subscriber, you can get it, and the place where you can get it will be in the show notes. So I'll have a URL right there where you can just click on it and go right to the sign up list. And it's a 14-page ebook. It's yours free for just for the asking. And in fact, we would like you to like this video. Please give us thumbs up, leave us comments in the comments section if you have any questions. We are happy one of us to field them. He has been bulk cooking with me for years now. And it is such a great thing to get your kids involved in your bulk cooking day, because there's a lot of camaraderie and you can play music and sing great songs from the 1960s together. Well, that's what we do.
Yeah.
So, all right, we hope you enjoy the rest of the video. The rest of the video is the montage that Larry put together for you that shows our entire bulk cooking day, tells you all the recipes that we made, and shows you how it all turned out at the end. Hey, before I let you go, I want to remind you, subscribe to Under the Median so that every Monday when we drop a new video, you'll be sure to see it. Thanks.